Hi, I'm Rebecca Cohen. I'm founder of the healing system, The Path to Heal. And I decided to take 20 minutes very quickly to do a healing session for people who are suffering from Lyme's disease. My story with Lyme is that it started my healing journey. 10 or 12 years ago, I was bitten by a tick, and I even got the red something or the other. It wasn't a bullseye, and I wasn't diagnosed right away. I was given the wrong antibiotics, and it took them 3 weeks to put me on the right ones. And I should have been fine. I took those antibiotics for 3 weeks, but I did not recover for a very long time. And that started my search in the alternative world, because it was actually my infectious disease doctor who said to me, I don't have anything more for you. We don't want to put you on the long-term antibiotics. We don't believe in it. So therefore, she said, you know what, we're done. Go elsewhere. Go explore anywhere else. But medicine kind of doesn't have anything else for you. So at that point, I'm not going to, in another video, I have the whole story of my healing journey and how it all came to pass. But where I am now is that I've developed this healing system called The Path to Heal, and it gets to the root of why we hold on to struggle rather than releasing it. And I don't really have any symptoms of Lyme except for one 10 years later, which is I get these headaches that don't want to go away. And I have 20 minutes in between clients, and I just got a hit that the headache I have right now will be helped tremendously if I do a group healing session on Lyme's disease. Now, I don't quite have the right camera set up to show you exactly what I'm going to be doing today, but this is the intake sheet that we use in a Path to Heal session, and it goes up through the chakras, 0 to 12. We use a 12 chakra system, actually 13, because there's also the 0 chakra that's 6 inches below the ground. Then chakras 1 through 7 that many people are used to. And then the spiritual chakras that go up to 6 feet above our head, having spiritual meanings. And I'm going to do this healing session. And you're not going to be able to see everything I do with the pendulum for the healing session, because I kind of don't know how to show that while I'm talking, but I will explain to you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And this type of healing that I'm doing is part of the Path to Heal, and it's called the 15-minute wonder. So only having 15 minutes to do this before I have to see a client is perfect. So what I'm going to do is, in order to get started, I'm going to do this technique, and I'm going to do it on myself, and I'm going to just use my green calcite crystal, and then I'm going to sniff some birch, and it opens with this concept: I am worthy of peace, love, and happiness. And when we are fully aligned to being worthy of peace, love, and happiness, then all of our issues are solved. It's just our shame and our blame and our guilt that take us out of peace, love, and happiness that create the problems for us. So in order to do this, on my sheet down here that you can't see, I'm placing a tourmaline between the 3rd and 4th chakra. And this, I'm doing the session on anyone who's watching that has Lyme. And that tourmaline helps to dispel negative energy. And then I'm using a magnet to break up the blocks and find out, and I'm going to find out the emotions behind the blocks. So what I'm doing, and you can not fully see this, but I'm holding my pendulum above each chakra. And when there is a break, like I'm trying to show me on the pendulum, it's a little bit hard, but when my pendulum moves, it means that there's a block in a chakra. And the block, I'm actually down at the 0 chakra. And what happens is, and that's why the pendulum's moving, because there's a block in that chakra. And I'm now going to find out the chakra, in order to be fully grounded down through our bodies, we need to have complete compassion for self. So there's a block in our ability to be completely compassionate to self. And Lyme disease takes away, in some level, that ability to be completely compassionate to self. Because when you're always feeling under the weather, it's hard to just say, okay, that's okay, that's okay. I get it. I'm sick. It's okay. We have a problem with compassion at that point. There's also an emotion associated with this that is blocking our compassion. And I'm muscle testing to find the emotion. And the emotion is invisible. So what I'm getting when I muscle test, what I'm sensing is that people that have Lyme can feel invisible. I get a yes. Invisible to their loved ones? Yes. That their needs are invisible. Is that true for me? Yes. Is that true for others? Yes. Do I need to figure it out yet? No. That's me muscle testing to get the answer for this community of people that have Lyme. So right now, I have enough information on that, but I will get more as this session progresses. And I'm using my rose essential oil and a tuning fork to help us trust the universe, that even when we're in pain, we can trust the universe that all is well. And it's just up to us now to figure out why we're holding on to pain. So now that I did that, I'm going back up the chakras and seeing when my pendulum moves, I'll tell you which chakra that's at. And now I'm at the first chakra, which is about groundedness and security. And what's blocking our feelings of groundedness and security, remember that we have invisible in the background there, is unpopularity. Well, it's absolutely true that 10 years ago, when I first contracted Lyme, I felt very unpopular because it was at a time when my marriage was breaking up. So what this is telling me is that there's something that often happens when someone has chronic Lyme. I'm not sure that this is true if someone just gets the tick bite, gets the antibiotics, and is better. But if someone has chronic Lyme, there's something in their life that makes them feel invisible and unpopular. And that throws off their groundedness. So I am now seeing if recognizing that is helping, and I get yes. And now I can move on and see what more there is to the story. So I'm moving down to the 0 chakra, and now I'm moving back up, and I am at the 11th chakra, which is about instantaneous transformation. And so in this session for Lyme's disease, we figured out that Lyme as a healing issue is triggered by feelings of invisibility and feelings of unpopularity. And now we're going to see what else that's blocking our ability to instantaneously transform the 11th chakra out of Lyme. And blocking this is feeling targeted in a situation. So now we have 3 emotions associated with Lyme's disease: invisibility, targeted, and unpopular. And I can relate all of these to what I was going through 10 years ago when Lyme started for me. So it'd be interesting to hear if anyone even watches this sometime in the future, since I didn't promote this because I just decided to do it, that if those emotions relate to you when it comes to how and when your Lyme disease started. And now I'm going back down the chakras. I have a break again at that 0 chakra, that ability to be compassionate to self. And some hatefulness is coming in as the emotion down there. So if you're going through something traumatic where you feel invisible, unpopular, and targeted, there's also the tendency to be self-hating, and that's blocking compassion to self. And that is throwing off your ability to heal. So I am getting that block has been cleared. And I use my rose oil and my fa tuner so that we can start to trust the universe again. And now I'm going back up the chakras. See if there are any more blocks to help release this, to help to remove so we can release the Lyme. And this is at the first chakra again, this concept of security and groundedness is blocked. And there's something that's concealed that's for everyone who's suffering from Lyme, because these group sessions, we all have a common energy. And this is something that's true for everyone who's suffering from Lyme, still suffering. And something is concealed. And interestingly enough, I'm getting what's concealed is the desire for true romance. So it's interesting because what this is saying is that people who suffer from chronic Lyme, they feel targeted, they feel invisible, they feel hatefulness towards self, maybe hatefulness towards others. And truly what is desired is the sweet, lovely, wonderful, romantic life. And recognizing that, and this feeling of being lost if somebody doesn't have it. And this is not true for me now, but it was certainly true for me 10 years ago when I first experienced Lyme. And interestingly enough, this technique that I'm doing, the 15-minute wonder, is very new. So it's possible that now I have the ability to fully get rid of everything, even the headaches, because it's now ready. I have this 15-minute wonder technique. And so now I get that the block in the first chakra has been cleared. I'm going down to the bottom. I'm using my rose oil. And I'm using my fa tuner. And I'm taking a breath. What's happening now, my pendulum is over my fourth chakra, and it's swinging very, very widely. And that means, what I say is that the wonder has occurred. And what that means is that we feel worthy of peace, joy, and happiness regarding the healing intention, which is to release Lyme. And then that means the wonder has occurred. And then we close with my fa tuner. And I'm going to also read you what this is doing, the wonder. When all fear is gone, we act only with love. Life is a miracle, and the gates to heaven on earth are open, and we choose to walk in. And I know it was too hard for me to explain to everybody exactly what I was doing here. But I can tell you in summary, I was going up and down the chakras, and the pendulum was telling me where there was blocks. And I was figuring out what emotions were blocking Lyme healing. And I came up with the idea that people who suffer from Lyme had some form of traumatic event where they felt unpopular and invisible and targeted, and became hateful to self, which is where the disease had then the energy to take hold, because if we're completely loving to self, then nothing negative can take hold. And that I helped us all release it, and the recognition that people who suffer from Lyme have this desire to have a romantic life, whatever that means to the person who is suffering. So I did that very quickly, and I have to go now. But please feel free to comment. I will look at them and respond if anybody has any questions. And also, please feel free to share this with anybody that you know who is suffering from Lyme. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from people. And if anyone would like to get an individual session, please feel free to contact me too.